Mullin is lower profile and much less theatrical than Noam, which isn't to say he's not a character. He's an ex-MMA fighter who pops a Benadryl before slathering peanut butter on his pancakes and walks around Capitol Hill hallways bouncing a pink bouncy ball because he says it helps him stay awake. He once challenged Teamsters leader Sean O'Brien to a fight during a hearing, and he leads 6:30 a.m. workouts with his colleagues where he demands that anyone who brings up politics has to do burpees. I love the 6:30 a.m. workouts with no politics allowed for his fellow members of Congress.
I like the no politics allowed. I'm not sure I'd go for the 6:30 a.m. workout, but yeah.
I'm not sure I'd go for the Benadryl with peanut butter on pancakes either, but let's continue.
I actually think that Markwayne Mullin is kind of an interesting guy in that he's a little bit hard to pin down in terms of his relationships. I actually think he has, in an era where there are not a lot of members who have good relations with people in the other party, even in the Senate, I actually think he is someone who does get along with the other side. The Rand Paul thing, like, I get what Rand Paul was saying, but I just want to put a pin in this. What Rand Paul was basically saying is because Markwayne Mullin doesn't like Rand Paul, Markwayne Mullin would be a bad head of the Department of Homeland Security. Yeah. I get that all politics is personal at some level, but like, you're not going to vote for the guy because he won't apologize to you because he called you a snake. I mean, like, again, I just wish we had like a bigger version of politics. There are lots of people I've interacted with in my life who 10 years ago said I was a clown and now are like, hey man, can you help me out with something? And I try to be the bigger person. I'm not always, but I try to be. And I just, like, that's a lame reason. You can vote against Markwayne Mullin for lots of reasons as DHS, but that's a lame reason, in my opinion.
Well, I think he justified it by saying, I think it shows you have anger management issues, and it's a temperament issue.
Yeah.
I'd like you both to weigh in on a moment that happened today in the Oval Office, having nothing to do with Markwayne Mullin. But President Trump did something that no American president has done in decades, as he sat next to the Japanese Prime Minister and was asked by a reporter why he didn't tell his allies that he was about to attack Iran. Watch this moment.
And we didn't tell anybody about it because we wanted surprise. Who knows better about surprise than Japan? Okay? Why didn't you tell me about Pearl Harbor? Okay? Right?
I don't know if you could hear, but there was a ooh audibly in the Oval Office. Batya, you're laughing. You go first.
Elizabeth, I spit out my coffee when I saw that moment. It was so shocking and hilarious. To me, I thought it was very, very funny because it is such a stupid question. Of course, we weren't going to tell people. The whole point was it was a surprise attack. I will say I saw a tweet that said, the country is divided into two groups, the people who think this is hilarious and the people who think it is a massive faux pas. And I think that that really hits the nail on the head.
Yeah.
Chris?
I had two thoughts. One, no other president would ever say it, Republican or Democrat.
They haven't.
And if they did, they would never get away with it the way that he will get away with it, which I think is a good reminder that he, whether you like him or hate him, he plays by a different set of rules. He is judged by a different set of rules. The other thing I'll say is it reminded me, and I'm aging myself, but it reminded me of the Saturday Night Live skit when Kevin Nealon is playing like an army general in the first Iraq War, and the first question that gets asked him is, what's the single most important piece of information that our enemies should know? And he's like, well, I mean, I'm not going to answer that question. So I always think of that because Trump is not wrong, but even more than the ooh from the crowd, look at the Japanese prime minister's face. I mean, she is like, oh.
Well, Japan
is there any way I could slink out of the room here?
Yeah, Japan is, the reason no other president has said this is because Japan has been such a long and loyal ally since it unconditionally surrendered at the end of World War II.
But Batya is right about the reaction to that is and it happens almost every day where Trump says something. The reaction is such a litmus test of how you view him, his presidency, sort of where we are in politics. It's so telling.
Cilizza, Batya, Ungar-Sargon, thank you both so much for joining me. And you can watch Batya's show right here on NewsNation on Saturday night at 7 p.m. Eastern.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.